This time we'd like to introduce the starting lineups for each team. Player will take the baseline on their side as their name is called. Starting with the Cleburne Yellow Jackets, leading off in center field, number 3, Cooper Schneider. At shortstop, number 6, Zach Moore. At first base, number 17, Aubrey Whitehead. On the mound for the Yellow Jackets, number 13, Pedro Martinez. At third base, number 12, Cooper Lynch. Designated hitter for Cleburne, number 22, Taylor Valerius.
He must have pitched under 60. I think it's once you reach 60.
Behind the plate, number 20, AJ Tapia. At second base, number 1, JJ Perez. In right field, number 2, Fallon Trevino. And in left field, number 8, Ben Weston. Coach Ross Taylor and the rest of the Cleburne Yellow Jackets. Now for the Highland Park Scots, leading off at second base, number 2, Jack True. Batting second, designated hitter, number 4, Captain Preston Gamster. At first base for the Scots, number 22, Luke Lindig. In right field, number 8, Trey Grimmage. On the mound for the Scots, number 5, Captain Ben Bailey. At third base, number 24, Jake Pryor. In left field, number 7, Pete McCon.
Good morning, baseball fans. We are at the deciding game of the bi-district playoffs between the 14-5A Cleburne Yellow Jackets and your Highland Park Scots representing 13-5A. On Thursday night, the Scots pulled out a 2-0 win, courtesy of a Jordan Stribling strong effort on the mound and a Preston Gamster 2-run double. Last night in Cleburne, Pete Martinez was the man of the night, striking out 11, including 6 in a row at one point, Scots, and getting the win 4-1 for the Yellow Jackets. So this is the deciding game. Ben Bailey on the mound for the Highland Park Scots. Here's the lineup he will face: Cooper Schneider, Zach Moore, Aubrey Whitehead, Pedro Martinez, Cooper Lynch, Taylor Valeris, A.J. Tapia, J.J. Perez, and Fallon Trevino. Pretty much the same lineup. Moore and Perez have switched places from the first game. Same lineup that the Yellow Jackets have had the first couple of nights. Similar story for the Scots. Going around the defense, Pete McCann moves in to the lineup after a good pinch hit last night. McCann in left, Juravec in center, Brimage in right. Pryor at third. Since Pryor's playing third, Charlie Schneider, the freshman, moves into shortstop. He will not be in the batting order. Jack True at second, Luke Vendig at first, behind the plate Henry Shearer, and of course Ben Bailey and his Sox on the mound. And they're making him take off something he had on his arm. Cooper Schneider comes in 1 for 5 in the series. And here goes Bailey and the Sox. He'll do this every inning. I haven't talked to him about why he does this. I want to, but
That's his routine.
this is what he does every inning. And here we go, set for the first pitch of the deciding game. The winner of this game will face the winner of the Hallsville-Huntsville matchup. Hallsville won that first game last night 5-4. First pitch is outside. They have the potential of playing a doubleheader today if Huntsville can pull out a win. If not, Hallsville will represent districts 11-12. And there's a strike. 1-1 strike. Morning baseball after a night trip over to Cleburne. This game originally was slated to be played at Globe Life Park. That will miss outside. But I'm not going to go into the details. Let's just say that it didn't work out, and we'll just leave it at that. And here we are at Scotland Yard this morning. 2 balls and a strike. Misses up high, 3-1. Schneider's 1 for 5, but he's also walked a couple of times, scored a couple of runs. He was the starting pitcher on Friday night. He's now the center fielder. And there's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Schneider wanted the free base. He'll have to earn it a little better than that. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 1 down from the captain, Ben Bailey. Hard-throwing right-hander. Had an excellent year for the Scots. That'll bring up Zach Moore, the shortstop. 1 for 4 in the series. Also a couple of walks. There's a strike on the first pitch. Moore got picked off last night by Max Stammel. It almost looked like Moore didn't even see Stammel throw to first. He was just caught flat-footed, completely flat-footed. Dribbles one towards third. Pryor, the scoop and the fire. Nice play by Jake. And there's 2 down. That'll bring up Aubrey Whitehead, one of the few people with multiple hits in the series. Not a lot of hitting, a lot of good pitching, not a lot of hitting in the first 2 games. Whitehead's 2 for 4 and a walk. Number 3 batter, all 3 games for the Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets are coached by Ross Taylor in his 31st year. There's a career for you. First pitch misses inside. And, of course, Travis Yoder in his 13th year with Scots. With cameraman Tyler Presley, I'm Rob Davis here. Glad to bring you this game on a Saturday morning. Takes that pitch up high, 2-0. Good day for baseball. It's going to be warmer later this afternoon into the 90s, maybe even the mid-90s. Just dribbling into the 80s right now, but it'll get a little muggier as we go. Well hit ball to right. That's going to back up Brimage, and it's going to be off the wall. That's going to be extra bases. Just a double as Jervek comes over and fields the rebound. 2-bagger for Whitehead. Wind's blowing a little bit towards the right field line. Pedro Martinez now 2 for 5 in the series. Been playing left field. Made a couple of sparkling defensive plays. Also made a play that allowed the Scots a run last night. 2 outs and a man on for Martinez. Not related to Pete Martinez, who pitched last night. First pitch to Pedro is a strike. Pedro will be on the mound today. When he gets on the mound, I'll tell you about his sparkling pitching record. The Yellow Jackets come in 25-7. Scots are 20-10. Ground ball towards the hole. True cannot get there. Let's see if we're going to have a play at the plate. Brimage comes up firing. Schneider's going to beat the throw home. And that'll be an RBI single for Martinez. Martinez did not advance on the throw home. Wasn't hit that hard. Probably made Brimage charge a little bit more than if he'd gotten the ball quicker, could have gotten the throw off better, but the ball wasn't hit that hard, just in the right spot on the right side. Fly ball, again, they're going to try Brimage, or is True going to go? No, Brimage is going to come in and make this play on Cooper Lynch, and that retires the side, but the Jackets are on the board with a pair of 2-out hits. It's 1-0 going to the bottom of the first. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports. Through the glare?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Is that those glasses that see you advertise on late night TV that cut the glare and everything?
Nah, I got these off Amazon. I got a 3-pack of these aviators for about $17.99 when the original price was about $35. So
3. Keep one in your car, one in your desk, one in your pocket.
one breaks, got 2 more to back it up.
So these are Dollar Tree special reading glasses. I only use glasses to read, so I have to look above the glasses to see the play out here, but I have to look through the glasses to see what I'm writing. But they're $1.
You know, after what you said about the song, I always am going to think Animal.
When it first came out, we all thought they were singing Animal. What year are you in school?
23. Shrewsbury.
Okay. So you'll have at least one more year of doing this.
Yeah. I might be broadcasting this year.
Oh, that'll be cool.
need
Which
to learn more
sports?
baseball. I broadcasted for football and basketball.
Oh, you
my
did?
whole high school
Okay.
career. I'm thinking about broadcasting baseball.
Do you know Miles Dunklin?
I do know Miles.
I know Miles. Worked with him about 7 or 8 years now. He teaches broadcasting in Colorado.
He does.
Leading off for the Scots,
The slower pitchers used to throw on those
third baseman, Jack
home run
True.
hitter.
Here we go now to the bottom half of the first inning. The Scots looking to even things up or take the lead. It'll be Jack True, Preston Gamster, Luke Vendig. Luke
Melissa was the one.
is 1 for 5 in the series. Big hit last night, driving their only run. That'll be the top three. Trey Brimage will hit 4th today. Ben Bailey, the pitcher, will hit 5th. Jake Pryor 6th. Pete McCann 7th. Henry Shearer 8th. And Braden Jervik moved down to the bottom of the order. Here's Jack True, only 1 for 6 in the series. Made some good contact. He's been robbed of a pair of hits by the left fielder Pedro Martinez, who's on the mound today. First pitch, swinging, ground ball to short. Moore fields it. Got it there just in time. Jack almost tricked everyone into getting a hit there. Moore took his time getting the throw off, but he got it there just in time. That'll bring up Preston Gamster. His only hit in the series was a big 2-run double that won the game on Friday night. Pedro Martinez, not related to last night's starter Pete. Pedro is 5-0 this year with a 1.94 ERA.
Designated hitter, Preston Gamster.
They have an inning and a 3-hole.
Does not strike out a lot of batters, only 10 strikeouts in 21 and 2/3 innings. First pitch to Preston was a ball. Ball in the air to the right side. Trevino drifting back, reaches over his shoulder at the warning track to make the play. Gamsters put some balls in the air towards the warning tracks, but only 1 hit in the series to show for it. 2 down now quickly, and here's Luke Vendig, 1 for 5. His hit last night didn't necessarily drive in the run, but it was what scored the run. Pitcher, last night's left fielder, tried to make a play on it, and it bounced in front of him, skipped past him all the way to the wall. Ben Bailey ran around the bases to score the run. Two balls and no strikes now to Luke. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike now.
Yeah, that is true. 'Cause you can't be looking at the ground. That's funny.
The flag in center field seems to be falling. All the other flags around the park are blowing well. Ball in the air again to the right side. First baseman lost it. The right fielder will come get a good... Too bad it didn't go to the first baseman because he had no idea where it was, but that'll be a fly out to right field. A lot of balls hitting that direction. No score in the first for the Scots. 1-0 Jackets after 1. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports.
What?
It's Mr. Ellis right there. He's wearing Highland Park colors like a bumblebee.
Highland Park what?
He's wearing Highland Park colors like a bumblebee. Like the old Steelers jerseys they used to have. They're not old. They were built a couple years ago. Hey, now the student section is somewhat filled. Not as big as,
Not quite as big a crowd as we had the other night
yeah.
yet.
Those late night games really get kids going though. All right, man, let's pick on here.
3 Ks.
And there's the throw down to second. We're ready to go in the second inning. This game is being, let's see, I guess we could call it simulcast because we've got it on GameOne Sports, GameOne Sports Network. You can also get us GameOne Sports Productions on Facebook, GameOne Sports Pro on Twitter and Instagram. But the Yellow Jackets have yellowjackets.com, and they have a audio stream, a radio broadcast. They've got a pair of announcers sitting along the first baseline. I told them they should go up on the press box, and they decided that stairs and ladders were not their thing. First pitch to Taylor Valerius is a strike. Valerius, I'm sorry. Sitting next to the Yellow Jacket broadcasters is A.J. Crisp, the writer for the Cleburne Times Record. Had a couple conversations with him. There's a strike. Tried to do a little bit of research, and the Times Record was pretty much the only place to get information about the Yellow Jackets. The 0-2. Punched back towards center field. That'll fall down in front of Jirovic for a hit. Third hit allowed so far. Valerius was 0 for 2 last night, his first game. And so now he has a hit, and here comes A.J. Tapia. Tapia had the bases-loaded suicide squeeze bunt last night. It was just placed in the perfect spot. Couldn't, if he'd hit it anywhere else, they probably had a play at the plate, but it made both the pitcher and the first baseman move to go try to get the ball. Tapia now squares to bunt again, and he does bunt. This one's not as well placed. Had Pryor been able to make that play in fair territory, he had a shot at the out at second base. But Tapia's suicide squeeze last night broke a 1-1 tie, the eventual winning run. They tacked on a pair after that, but it was his bunt that broke the tie. Just perfectly placed. If he pops it up, it's a double play because they were running. Every runner was taken off. He just put it in the perfect spot. Next pitch to him was a breaking ball up a little high, ball on a strike. He pulled back the bunt. Pryor was only about 50 feet away from him. Middle infield looking to turn two. Valerius, not much of a lead. He could almost take a half step and fall down and touch the bag. Not much of a secondary lead. Adds about 6 inches. Bailey's going to throw over there anyway. The 1-1, if there's an action pitch in this at bat, this is probably it. He squares the bunt. He does bunt. They're going to let it roll foul. Shearer had to play it first if he wanted it, but he just let it take that extra bounce and go foul, and now they've got the batter in the hole 1-2, and that probably takes off the bunt. But Tapia showed last night he knows how to bunt the ball, even though he's fouled 1 to third and 1 to first in this at bat. A ball and 2 strikes. I would expect Pryor to hold his ground just a step or two inside of third. Still not much of a lead from Valerius. Maybe half a step more than what he had last pitch. Bailey delivers, and that'll get back out onto Lover's Lane. Didn't hear a crash that time.
That'd be too insensitive.
Still 1-2. Oh, just misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. and lined in the perfect spot in the hole and right. Tapia with the hit. Back-to-back singles to start the second inning. Runners on first and second now. That'll bring up J.J. Perez, the second baseman. 1 for 4 in the first pair of games. We've got a courtesy runner at first, but because of the gold-on-gold numbering system, we can't tell who it is. I've got their roster, but I don't know their people well enough. And I don't want to just pick a name just to pick a name. So Perez bats now. They're showing bunt, looking bunt, expecting bunt. They get the bunt, but it goes foul. So that bunt defense had the shortstop and the second baseman charging and the corners staying where they were. That will give the Scots the opportunity for the outs at third and first in the event it was a bad bunt. And here they come again. Shows bunt and get another bunt that goes foul. I tell you, they had to play at third if it stayed fair because the runner at second, Valerius, was getting almost no secondary lead. He kind of froze. So if it had been down in fair territory, the possibility of a double play. But now with 2 strikes, that probably takes the bunt off. And they'll let Perez swing away. And he takes a ball up high for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. Swing and a ground ball, going to go foul. Hit that one a little bit harder right at third. You got the round the horn triple play. Would love to see that. Did see a triple play in softball earlier this year. An unbelievable, weird, unassisted triple play that you never hear about. I'll describe it in a minute. It was almost hilarious. Bailey's 1-2, swing and a foul back. I can't remember. It might have been Rebecca Arnold. It was the JV game. But runners first and second. Batter hits a pop-up in the infield. So the batter's out, infield fly rule. The pitcher catches the pop-up, and strangely the runner from first had taken off, swinging a foul ball. So backing up, making the catch, the pitcher catches the ball. The runner from second is standing practically on the bag like she's supposed to. But with the runner coming from first, she stepped off the bag, and therefore the pitcher, who was backing up towards the bag, tagged both of them, unassisted triple play. Fly ball into center. Jurovic playing shallow. Had to range a little bit to his right. Makes an easy play. And there's one down. Double play and infield fly rule still in order for Bailey. Shearer going to go out and talk to him now. Fallon Trevino, 1 for 4 in the series with an RBI. Took a swing last night. Can't say it was a full swing. Made solid contact. Sent the ball into right field for an RBI single to bring in the last run of the game. So this represents one time through the lineup here in the second inning. Leadoff batter Cooper Schneider on deck. Schneider's the only strikeout victim so far for Ben. One out here in the second. Breaking ball in the dirt. Shearer makes a good job of blocking that one and hanging on to the rebound. And now he's showing bunt. Bailey taking a little extra time. Vendig coming in from first. Puts the bunt down, but it'll go foul. Again, the runner at second is not getting much of a jump at all. They will, if he puts a ball fair on a bunt, they've got to play at third. Because Valerius is not getting off the bag well at all. And now Coach Taylor and Trevino are going to have a little talk. He's probably telling him, when that first baseman charges, you got to put that bunt down the third base line, not the first base line. Or they could have been talking about going to Chip's Hamburgers afterwards. I'm not sure. 1 ball, 1 strike to Trevino, the number 9 hitter. See if he shows bunt again. He does, and he fouls this one. He looks like he stepped on it after he bunted it at the plate. And that should take the bunt off. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Bailey laboring here in the second inning. Playoff games, this is all high-intensity pitching in the deciding game of a playoff series. Both teams probably held on to a pretty good pitcher. Bailey was on the mound the most this year for the Scots. That pitch misses outside 2-2. Martinez on the mound the second most, according to the statistics I was given. Of course, they also started Schneider in game 1, where the stats that I was given said he only pitched 1/3 of an inning all year. I think that was false. I think they were trying a little trickery of chicanery. Breaking ball for strike 3, and there's 2 down. That'll bring up Cooper Schneider, who swung through a strike 3 his first time up last inning. Schneider, though, comes in with a .392 batting average and a .538 on-base percentage coming into the series. 1 for 6 now in the series. Also has walked and scored a couple of times. Wind picking up a little bit. Breaking ball. Going to miss down low. If you're not here, there's a couple of seats left if you wanted to come on out. There's more on the Cleburne side than there are on the Highland Park side. But the Cleburne side up next to the press box is pretty full. You'd have to move down the line close to the bullpen. Next pitch misses outside, 2-0. Probably some bullpen seating for the Scots as well. Had a really big crowd last night in Cleburne, a really good crowd here Thursday night. A well-attended series. Gotta love to see people coming out to watch baseball. Because it's May, it's baseball season. 2 balls and no strikes to Schneider. Bailey's gonna pay a little attention to Valerius. 2 on, 2 out, 1-0 Jackets in the second. Foul back. Check that ball, Lump. It hit something pretty metallic on the back, not just the screen. He puts it in his bag. No serious cut on the ball. So 2-1 now to Schneider. Another ball down in the dirt. Good block from Shearer. Three balls and a strike. Both runners moderate leads. Happy Mother's Day weekend. Hope you and your mom have a great Mother's Day tomorrow. Also got the Kentucky Derby later today. Big weekend all around. Bailey's 3-1 swung on and missed. Full count now. The run and Schneider's going to change his bat. Yeah. He trades bats with the on-deck batter Zach Moore. I see that when they break bats, but he certainly didn't break a bat on a swing and a miss. Maybe he likes this red bat a little better. I don't know. I hope it doesn't do him any better. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The runners will get a little extra go. And that's going to be ball 4. So that'll bring up Zach Moore, the shortstop, with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Bailey's in a heap of trouble here. 1-0 Jackets already. Need to shut it down here.
Shortstop Zach Moore.
Moore grounded out to third his first time up. Bailey kicks and fires, strike on the outside corner. I only see one cowbell in the crowd from. I'm told there's a few more. There's definitely one making noise. Swing and a foul back to the screen. Last night in in Cleburne, they also had some jugs filled with, I don't know, pennies or nickels or rocks, I don't know, making some extra noise behind the dugout. Big student section last night for Cleburne. And they travel well. Big contingent of Yellow Jacket fans here today. Many of them wearing their playoff T-shirts. The 0-2 checks his swing. Uh-oh. So now if he gets a strikeout, it doesn't matter because they still have to get the out on the runner. Travis Yoder wants to know, did he swing? No, he didn't. It doesn't matter because they still have to get an out on a runner because of the missed third strike. And they did not get the force play. The ball got past Shearer. Another run scores 2-0. Everybody moves up. A ball and 2 strikes now to Moore. Ball in the air, going to clear the screen and go foul just beyond the fence and roll across Lover's Lane. Still 1-2. 2-0 now Jackets. A pair of base hits and a walk to load the bases, and then the wild pitch pass ball. Make your own call on that one to score the run. Bailey ahead in the count 1-2. to the number 2 batter, Moore. Another ball in the air. Let's see if they have a play on this one. It lands into the park, but out of the reach of True, Brimage, and Vendig, all vying for it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runners second and third. Bailey looking to set down Moore and end the threat. Another ball down. This one Shearer's able to stay on top of. And now Deuces Wild, 2-0, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs and 2 on. That ball, did it make contact with Moore?
That's a fake.
And they're bringing him back. Look, he says it hit him. Of course, the last strike of the last out last night, Jack Curtis said that ball hit him, but it was still strike 3. This time they're going to tell Moore to come back and finish the at-bat. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So it almost looked like he leaned over home plate to make contact. I'm not saying he did it on purpose, just the way it looked. Pitch was up and in a little bit, but he's practically on top of home plate. Here we go again, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and he fouls it back. Scott's already in the hole, 2-0. Bailey's pretty deep in a pitch count for just 2 innings of work. This will be his 49th delivery of the day. Ground ball towards third. Pryor comes over, and I think they're going to call him out at first. I haven't actually seen an out call, just a point to the bag. But I think they're going to call that an out. Everybody ran off, and so it looks like it was an out. So Vendig came off the bag, made the tag, and that'll do it. Another run across, 2-0 going to the bottom of the second. This is Highland Park Scots Baseball on GameOne Sports. Man, Bailey's up to almost 50 pitches after 2 innings.
So were we gonna put it Webster?
I don't know.
We can go righty righty. Webster only pitched an inning last night, right?
Yep.
Okay, dude. Okay, dude. Okay, dude. Okay, dude.
It's between innings.
I know. Not really looking forward to him staying like that.
I know this guy can't go very long. He pitched 4 or 5 innings last night?
No, it's a different guy.
Oh, it's a different one.
This is Pedro. The other guy was Pete.
Oh, okay. No wonder. Interesting. They both pitched. They both hit, I guess.
No, Pete just pitches.
Okay.
He doesn't hit. Let's see. Pete had 0 at bats all year. He just pitches.
Pedro does. He's a
But
cleanup.
Pedro's a cleanup hitter, yeah, and left fielder. Going to the bottom of the second, the Scots got their work cut out for them, trailing 2-0. Ben Baylor laboring through 2 innings on the mound, giving up a pair of runs. And Trey Brimage will come up. He's 0 for 5 in the series. Pedro Martinez on the mound. Pete pitched last night, Pedro today. There's another Martinez on the team. He's yet to appear in the series, the younger brother of Pete. Swinging a ground ball at third. Lynch fields it, gets it across the diamond, and there's one down. Fielded it awkwardly at his midsection, but was able to come out of that in a throwing posture and complete the play. One down. That'll bring up Ben Bailey. He's 0 for 4 in the series with a couple of walks.
Not singing it. Not singing it. It's happy.
Here's a picture of Ben Bailey.
Ball skied to center, but Schneider's going to have a play. Moves to his left and one hands the catch. Quickly 2 outs. They're not doing themselves any favors swinging at the first pitch. Be better if they get hits. That'll bring up Jake Pryor, the third baseman. 0 for 5, but made some nice defensive plays.
Sam Webster.
Third baseman, Jake Pryor.
Swinging a foul back on the first pitch.
Yeah, Father Stretch My Hands Part 1.
Yeah, that's right. Kanye West, right?
Yeah, Kanye West.
Pete McCann on deck if he gets a chance. Swinging a foul back.
Hey, what a good play by the coach.
Nice play by the coach, catching the ball off the screen. And then delivers a strike back to his catcher. Somebody didn't get his playing days out of his system.
New message is received from Fred Garner.
Whoops. I'll turn that down.
Little Fred.
And I think Pryor
Is that time?
called time. These Martinez fellows take a lot of time on the mound. Pete last night was almost difficult to follow.
I guess 1-2.
So was it a ball?
He counted it as a pitch.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Huh, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. I have no idea what that conversation was all about, but we get a ground ball to short. Moore boots it, makes the throw across and throws it away as well. Only 1 bag acquired by Pryor. That'll be an E6 all the way, almost 2 bases, but just 1. That'll bring up Pete McCann. 1 for 1, had a very hard hit single last night in the hole on the third base side. That's the first base runner of the day for the Scots.
Left fielder, Pete McCann.
Throw over to first, but Pryor's back easily. Another throw to first, just keeping him honest. Obviously that was not the good move. Pitch misses up high, 2-0. Another throw to first. Swing and a base hit into center field.
Yes, yes, yes.
Scouts are cooking with 2 outs now. Their first hit, their first 2 base runners. First and second, 2 outs. That'll bring up Henry Shearer, the catcher. 1 for 5 in the series.
I think there's just too much of a chance there, you know, that it's going to get on.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not even.
Catcher, Henry Shearer.
See the odd defensive alignment with the second baseman right behind second. He's not in a shift. He's trying to keep the runner close at second. That drives me crazy when they do that. You've probably noticed that from our broadcasts. Terrible defensive alignment.
It once was.
2 on and 2 out for Shearer. And there's the old switcheroo at second. The second baseman holds him tight, runs away, and the shortstop comes in behind him. Didn't work that time. Pryor's seen that. They've worked that play a little bit from Highland Park's perspective as well. Breaking ball. Gonna miss 2 balls and no strikes now.
Yeah, still there. He got some reps in last year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he did play a little bit, not too much, but he's still behind. He's probably like second or third string.
That misses up high. 3-0 now, and here comes Coach Taylor out to talk to his pitcher. He's afraid of loading the bases. Braden Jerovic is the number 9 hitter today, but he is not a typical number 9 hitter. Hit leadoff a lot this year and in the middle of the lineup. Coach Taylor got his say in. Now he'll come walking off. And now we can get back to baseball. 3 balls and no strikes to Shearer. 2 men on. The first threat of the day by the Scots. He shows bunt and takes ball 4. And now the bases are loaded for Braden Jerovic. Adam Rourke will be the courtesy runner at first for Shearer. Rourke played left field last night. Got a lot of speed. He'll be one of the captains on the football team. Speaking of captains, here's one of your captains, Braden Jerovic of the baseball team. Bases loaded, takes a pitch outside. Little life in the Scots contingent in the stands now. Zach Moore is going to come over and talk to his pitcher. Left-hander getting loose in the bullpen for the Yellow Jackets. Again, we can't read their numbers. Even the catcher is sitting right in front of us. So no way we can tell the number of the guy way down there. One ball, no strikes. Martinez has missed with at least the last 5 pitches. That's going to be a strike call. Looked a little tight on the inside. Apparently caught a piece of the plate as it was screaming by. 1-1 now to Braden. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now. That gets a little excitement from some people in the crowd from both sides.
Ladies, sit down.
That's a man.
Man, sit down.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That'll retire the side and shut down the threat. So at the end of 2 innings, it is 2-0 Yellow Jackets. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports.
That was our shot.
No, it's not over.
Yeah, but it's a good shot to get some runs.
So
It ain't over.
see that
Yeah.
that push pin and maybe two strikes. I gave that to her about 6 years ago. That was my mother's. It was prior to when Dad brought it back from World War II, and she wears it regularly. I mean, I came across it one day and I was just like, that is so BBG.
Yeah. Especially her. I've been trying to get into her class to go check out their dissections. They're dissecting all kinds of stuff this year.
She's very into what she's teaching.
Yes, sir. 17. Very passionate.
I might go grab some juice.
Here we go now to the 3rd inning. Aubrey Whitehead, the number 3 batter, will lead off for the Yellow Jackets. First pitch is a strike on the inside corner.
Leading off for the Yellow Jackets. Top of the 3rd. First baseman, Aubrey Whitehead.
Takes the ball down, 1-1.
Was he talking to y'all?
That pitch misses up high. Ground ball towards Vendig at first. He fields it, pitches it to Bailey in time for the out. 1 down. That time we see the out call from umpire Gary. I only know his name because last night we parked next to each other and walked in together. 1 down, that'll bring up Pedro Martinez, the pitcher today. Had an RBI single his first time up. Got it to go just slow enough to right field to get the runner across. Takes a ball outside. Strike on the inside corner.
And they're all sold out.
Yeah. No, they're not all sold out. It's just a long line. And I was like, I'm gonna wait this long for some Lay's potato chips.
Takes that one up high, 2-1. Bailey's up over at 56 pitches already here in the 3rd. I'd like to have a good settle it down inning here. Takes that one outside, 3-1. Martinez almost on top of the plate, as close as he can get to the line on the inside of the batter's box. Puts that one in the air. I don't think they're going to get a play. It goes out onto Lover's Lane.
And it misses the Range Rover. The white one. Barely missed it.
Ball just missed a white Range Rover and then bounced in front of the black Range Rover that was right behind it. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bailey kicks and delivers. Ground ball right back through Bailey's feet and into center field for a hit. Martinez is 2 for 2. That'll bring up Cooper Lynch, who flied to right his first time. Again, another pinch runner at first. Can't get a number on him. He's going to have to stand almost right behind home plate and turn his back to us for us to get his number. Very thin markings. It's almost like somebody took a magic marker and drew the numbers on top of the jerseys. The number and the jersey are the same color. Very thin outline of the number on the jersey. Tapia shows bunt or Lynch rather, and it'll go foul.
Looks like Jordan's going on an expedition for that baseball right now. He's out in the traffic.
It went into the yard, the bushes.
Yeah.
Right there, those bushes. I think it's inside the bushes, to be honest.
There they go.
No balls and a strike. Throw over to first. Chases the pinch runner back. Would love to know his number and name, but we'll just call him pinch runner right now. Cowbells are going. There's a pitch down and in. A ball and a strike now. Another throw over to first. Sun shines a little brighter for this next pitch. Grounded slowly to short. He'll only have a play to first. Schneider gets it there on a hop. Nice dig by Vendig. And there's 2 down. The runner does advance to second on that slowly hit ground ball. But there are now 2 down, and that'll bring up Taylor Valerius, who had a single and scored a run his first time through. Bailey can shut it down here. That'll be his best inning of the day. Has given up a run and labored through the first 2 innings. Driving his pitch count up high. He's up over 60 already. Swing and a foul ball going back to the backstop. Oh, and that pitch hits him. That'll extend the inning for the Yellow Jackets, but it does put a force on any bag for the Scots. No harm, no foul. Breaking ball probably didn't hurt a lot. Hit him pretty solid, but again, breaking ball, leave a little bit of a bruise. Baseballs don't feel good when they hit you. That'll bring up Tapia, the catcher. Last night's excellent bunt. Tried to bunt his first time, fouled a couple of them off before ending up with a base hit. Yellow Jackets scored their first run in the first inning on a hit by Martinez. Last inning, they got a run home on a wild pitch with the bases loaded. Tapia is going to step out and call time, so Bailey will step off. 2-0 Jackets batting in the top of the third. Bailey delivers, foul back again. Bailey's 0-1. Breaking ball, again foul back. 0-2 with 2 outs. Scott's crowd picking up the noise a little bit. Outfield defense not very deep. Bailey was ready to deliver the 0-2, but the pitcher or the batter called time. Bailey took his time on that pitch, but not nearly as much as Martinez was taking last night. There's a pitch, just misses. Martinez was looking for the delayed steal if everybody was going to hem and haw about the missed pitch on the outside, but Shearer throws to third and forces him, Martinez, to go diving back in. I'm sorry, pinch runner to go diving back into second. Swing and another foul back to the screen. Tapia hanging tough. Forcing the pitch count up a little bit more for Bailey. Swing and a ground ball towards True. He'll pitch it to Schneider, and that will retire the side. No runs across after 2.5 innings of play. 2-0 Jackets. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports. Going to the bottom half of the third inning. Scots need to get on the board here. left them loaded last inning. They'll start back over at the top of the order. Jack True grounded out his first time up to shortstop. Got some Scott's family members standing up in front of the press box.
Leading off in the bottom of the third, second baseman Jack True.
Martinez, very economical. Ball in the air to center, but right at Schneider. Couldn't have had him played any better. It was right at him. One pitch, one out. And that'll bring up Preston Gamster. Martinez has only thrown 25 pitches in contrast to Bailey, who's almost at 70 here in the third inning. Gamster flied out to the warning track in right the first time.
Designated hitter Preston Gamster.
That hamster shimmy.
Takes a pitch down low for a ball. Swings at a breaking ball, fouls it back. Swing hard in case you hit it. He took a mighty cut at that one. Martinez working quick. Another breaking ball, again in the air. This will drive Schneider back a little bit, but he will make the play a few feet in front of the warning track. Just a few pitches and 2 outs already, and here comes Luke Vendig. He also flied to right his first time. So Pedro Martinez has only allowed
Picked up second base.
1 hit thus far.
Bendy.
First pitch to Luke is a ball. Next pitch is way outside. See their catcher setting up half in, half out of the catcher's box, way outside. They did that a lot last night with the other Martinez on the mound. And occasionally they'd get the call from the umpire if they hit their spot like that. Not supposed to be able to move home plate like that. 3-0 now to Luke. Trey Brimage on deck, hoping to get a chance here. He would represent the tying run if he gets to bat this inning. And that's a high strike. Luke's pretty tall, and Travis Yoder saw the same thing I did. Catcher reaching up to make that catch on a tall batter, but the strike zone is not that tall. But he got the strike anyway. 3 balls and a strike. And another ball in the air, another ball to center. He's acting like he can't see it. He did that last night too, but he made the play. 3 down, and we go to the 4th, 2-0 Jackets. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports.
Yeah.
Going to the top of the fourth inning, J.J. Perez, Fallon Trevino, Cooper Schneider up this inning for the Yellow Jackets facing Ben Bailey. Bailey's looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Gave up a run in the first on a double and a single, a run in the second on a wild pitch with a runner at third. Gave up a hit and a hit batsman last inning. First pitch swinging fly ball right at center fielder Braden Jurovic, and there's one down. That'll bring up Fallon Trevino. Struck out his first time. One of only 2 strikeout victims thus far for Ben Bailey. Swinging a ground ball back through the box. Schneider comes over behind second. Nice play from Charlie. So it looked like it sliced through Bailey going back through the mound. Bounces over second base. Schneider smooth. Just fields it on the run. Tosses it to first. 6-3 to get Trevino out. That'll bring up Cooper Schneider, probably not related to Charlie. Schneider has struck out and walked. 1 for 6 so far in the series. That pitch will miss outside. Schneider will be playing college ball at Dodge City, Kansas next year. There's a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. They also have a couple of guys going to Amarillo Junior College. I think it's Amarillo or Abilene. And another one going to a JUCO in Arkansas.
Yeah, thank you.
A ball and 2 strikes quickly now to Schneider.
Sitting down.
Little looper hit at second. True makes that play rather easily, and there's 3 up, 3 down. Best inning of the day so far for Bailey. After 3.5, still 2-0 Jackets. Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports.
Yeah, a lot more clean. I think Yoder's going to be happy when he sees more of that.
Well, he'd be happier to see a couple of doubles off the wall and some singles through the gap.
Yeah. You know, maybe sprinkle in a Jack Curtis pinch run home run. Pinch hit home run. Just put that cherry on top.
Anybody can hit the home run. Doesn't have to be Curtis.
Yeah.
Anybody.
But you know, there's one guy who's got the body and the power and the size.
Yeah.
Honestly, we just put in Curtis and get a like a walk. You know, you never know. He's a magnet. It's like center field today. It's a magnet.
Yes, sir. You're right on the money.
Go to the bottom of the fourth. Scott's looking to get on the board. Not a lot going for them so far against Pedro Martinez. 1 hit and an error. Brimage, Bailey, and Pryor due up.
Leading off in the bottom of the 4th. Right fielder Trey Grimmage.
Takes a pitch down. 1-0. Getting a little cloud cover now. That'll knock the heat down. Wind appears to be dying down a little bit. Line shot right at Lynch at third base. 1 down. Well struck ball, but right at him. Just had to open his glove up and make the catch. They'll bring up Bailey, who flied out to center field his first time. So Martinez gets the outs, but he pitches to contact. Only one strikeout thus far. As this, that will hit Bailey, and that'll put him on first. Maybe that'll start a rally. We'll get a pinch runner for Ben since he's pitching today. And it'll be William White.
William White. Yeah.
Now running at first base, number 12, William White.
That'll bring up Jake Pryor. Reached on an error his first time. Oh, nope. Jack Rich is going to pinch hit.
Now batting for the Scots, number 3, Jack Rich.
How did Shearer get on base in the first? First time too?
He was here on the ball.
Hit by pitch.
Okay. Throw over to first. Nothing doing. White is a threat to steal.
Linebacker. Just kind of weird thing about how tall he is.
He's due.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Another throw over to first. He's got a better move than that. You saw the other Martinez last night. He had 3 definitely different moves. One where his feet move really fast, his upper body turned really fast. He delivered a really hard throw. Then the other 2 were just kind of so-so. But he does have a... So this Martinez also probably has a sneaky fast move. He just won't show it until he's ready. I believe this is Rich's first at bat in the series. And we get a balk call. And that's not going to make Coach Taylor happy. And I'm looking to see if Rich had been in the game, so I did not see the balk. As a guy who used to teach people how to pitch, I can spot a balk pretty easily, but I didn't see that one. But that'll put a runner at second in scoring position with 1 out. Scots need to chip away. Big hole on the right side with the second baseman out of position. Swing and a miss. Slow curveball, took a little something extra off of that one. Put a funny spin on it or something. Rich swung right through it. Wow, these guys take a lot of time in between pitches. Breaking ball, hammered to center, going to drive Schneider back. White tags, he'll advance to third. It'll be a fly out, but a productive out. 2 down now, runner at third. That is not a sacrifice fly, but it is a productive out. To get the sacrifice, it has to score a run. So Pete McCann, 2 for 2 in the series with a hit last night and a hit today. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
That's the bearded lady.
Might have to send Owen out there again.
Yeah.
I know he loves those confrontations.
Ball ripped to left, and it'll fall for a hit. Pete McCann's got the hottest bat in baseball. 3 for 3. That brings in the first run of the game for the Scots. Cuts the lead in half. RBI single from Pete. He's 2 for 2, 3 for 3 in the series. That'll bring up Henry Shearer.
Tell you what, he's having a series of life. Needed that. That was huge. Yeah, massive. Especially 2 outs.
Last night, Pete was getting a pretty decent lead. Don't know if he ever really took off and stole the base. They throw over to keep him honest. He represents the tying run, but he's over on first base, so it'll take a gapper or something down the line to get him to score. Shearer puts another one into center field. Center field is a magnet for the ball today, and Schneider makes that play. 3 down, but the Scots cut the lead in half. We've completed 4 innings. It's 2-1 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports. Going to the 5th inning, Ben Bailey back out on the mound. Had his best inning of the day last inning. 3 up, 3 down. Looks to extend that. Zach Moore, Aubrey Whitehead, Pedro Martinez, 2, 3, 4 in the order due up for the Yellow Jackets. We've seen some good pitching in this series. Not a lot of hitting.
In the top of the 5th, shortstop, Zach Moore.
Moore has grounded out to Jake Pryor twice in this game. Takes a breaking ball for a strike on the first pitch. Swings at one well out of the zone. If he's going to swing at that, might want to throw him another one. Keeps it outside. He didn't chase. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fouls this one back out over onto Lover's Lane. Just missed a Mercedes. Still 1-2. Outside. Is it just me, or does every batter just crowd the plate these days? Man, their hands are on top of home plate. How do you ever hit an inside pitch? 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball past the coach at third, foul.
He had a nice little pickoff earlier, first or second inning. Yeah, he one-handed it. I'm surprised they didn't rock it out.
Swinging a foul back to the screen. So Moore's hanging tough. Moore's dad down there shooting video of him right behind the screen. Moore's dad didn't get his name. I guess his last name is Moore. He was on the crew that put the artificial turf in here. Swinging another foul back. He was telling me about that last night in Cleburne. He also mentioned that Highland Park's artificial turf is older than the one in Cleburne, and yet it looks like it's been better taken care of. That's his professional opinion. I'm just repeating it for you. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Swinging another foul back. Moore's just driving up the pitch count. The next delivery will be the 84th of the afternoon from Mr. Bailey. Not quite Yu Darvish-like, but pretty heavy for the 5th inning. This ball in the air coming back this way into the parking area. Right on Lover's Lane. The people who park the closest are probably the people who get here last. They don't want to park too close to the baseball park. Or a driving range in the golf course. Fly ball to center. Again, lots of fly balls to center today. Jurovic was playing shallow, didn't have to move far. He's only about 200 feet or less in the outfield to make that catch, and that'll bring up Aubrey Whitehead. Hit a double off the wall and right his first time, scored the first run of the game, grounded out first to pitcher his last time up. He's 3 for 6 now in the series. First pitch is inside.
Scott needs to sit down.
Swing and a foul back.
I mean,
No, we can wait.
yeah, we'll wait. He doesn't do it too often, so I mean.
The 1-1 from Bailey. Takes a little something off of that one, misses outside.
He's obnoxious.
So several people that stand up in the stands to maybe block the view of the people in the press box. Fly ball, shallow left field. Pete McKine comes in, makes the play. 2 down. 6 in a row set down now by Ben Bailey. And here comes the opposing pitcher, Pedro Martinez. Had an RBI single his first time up and a single last time. He's 2 for 2, 4 for 7 in the series. They'd love to sit him down and end his streak. Takes a curveball for a strike. The deciding game in the bi-district playoffs. That's a tight one into the 5th inning. 2-1 Yellow Jackets. There's a, well, it looked like a strike from here, called down low. A ball and a strike. We've seen some good baseball if you like pitching. If you like doubles, triples, and home runs, this has not been the series for you. There's a good fastball in the outside corner. Bailey's starting to heat it up. 1-2, looking for his second consecutive 3-up, 3-down inning after struggling through the first 2.5 to 3 innings. The 1-2, swing and a tapper in front of the mound. Bailey fields, makes the play just in time to Vendig, and that retires the side. We'll go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's 2-1 Jackets. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports.
Bringing out some new ones today. In one of the X-Men movies, they used this for like a slow motion like scene, but it was like the subject of the scene was moving super fast, and it looked great. Everything around him is just stopped, and he's just kicking everyone's butt. That's the only time I remember this song. It's a newbie though.
Before my time.
It's my dad.
I don't know this song.
It's my mom and my dad.
Where's your dad and mom?
Right
Up
there.
there?
Right there.
Pink shirt,
Not pink, but salmon.
salmon,
Salmon.
peach. Hi, Mom and Dad. They can't find a place to sit.
No, it's snacks.
Tell them they can crawl up and go up to the top of the press box.
Yeah.
Where's your mom and dad?
They're right there on the.
They look so young.
You'd be surprised. They had me pretty late.
Oh,
Did they really?
you
Yeah.
totally look like your dad.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Your mom's little.
Yeah. We're a little family.
Brothers and sisters now?
No, one brother is at college. It's OU. Fun fact, he went to preschool with Lou Bendig.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He called him his bully. So Lou Bendig is a preschool bully.
Going into the bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Jackets. Braden Jurovic hitting 9th today will lead it off. Jack True on deck, and then Preston Gamster. Those three are due up this inning for the Scots. Pedro Martinez back out on the mound. He's been pretty good today. Hit a batter last inning, which turned into a run on a RBI hit from Pete McCann.
Leading off for the Scots.
He does not strike out a lot of batters, only one strikeout, and that was Vendig. Vendig pops this bunt up, and that'll be an easy catch for Tapia. I like the idea, just didn't get it down and get on base, but that'll be a pop out to the catcher. 1 pitch, 1 out. Been a lot of 1 pitch, 1 out tonight, or today in the batting order for the Scots. Here's Jack True. 2 innings ago, he was a 1 pitch, 1 out on a fly ball to center. He's also grounded out to short.
He's got second baseman, Jack True.
True, the junior second baseman. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Half the crowd agreed with that. The other half didn't. First year on varsity has been a big success for Jack. Led the team in hitting. Ground ball through the hole and right. I said that just in time as he grounds a single through the right side. I'll bring up Preston Gamster. Going to go play college ball at Paris Junior College next year. Hit a home run earlier in the season. Saw that on Twitter. Has hit some other ball. Hit a ball last night that if the wind wasn't blowing in, might have gotten out of that little ballpark in Cleburne. But it stayed just shy of the warning track where Pedro Martinez hauled it in. Also hit one to the warning track and right earlier in this game. He's flied to right 2 times. A step and a throw to first. True dives in. He could have walked back and had a cup of coffee on the way. First pitch is up high to Gamster. Preston's dad, Grant, has been the contact for the, what's the sports app that they use? The
Or Scott's Illustrated.
no, not Scott's Illustrated. There's a little app, Game Time app or something like that.
Okay, so that bearded man is.
Tapia goes out to talk to Pedro about something. There's not a runner on second, so it can't be talking about what sign to use. Maybe he got a breaking ball when he called for a fastball, or vice versa. Or maybe they were talking about going to the Gamsters Chips Hamburgers after the game. He sets up outside, ball ripped at Lynch at third. 2 innings in a row, there have been hard line drives hit right at the third baseman. He's been up to the task both times. 2 down now, and that'll bring up Luke Vendig. He's flied out twice.
You're not going to do that.
He's not going to sit down for you, Kathy. He's going to stand up. He is all about it. Oh, he sat down for you. Unbelievable.
Sorry,
Another token throw to first. So, gentleman who last night in Cleburne was running up and down the stands with a flag, and I don't know if he got the wave going, but he was very demonstrative in his cheering as Luke takes the ball up high. Trying to get the crowd incited, and he's doing the same thing here today with not as much success. The student section last night really helped him out. He loves his Yellow Jackets. Ball and strike now to Vendig. He takes this one outside. Two and 0. Here's a hitter's pitch. Potential tying run at first in the body of Jack True. Would love to see him at second base and come around and score. Let's see if they're going to do any action, fake bunt steal, or nope. We're going to call timeout. Pedro does not take nearly as much time as Pete did last night in between pitches, but they do wear you out. And I kind of wonder if that has something to do with their success. They just, and this time he quick pitches, delivers outside, but just drives the batters crazy having to wait so long to see the pitch delivered. That's part of the mental aspect of baseball, that it's hard to coach. It's hard to understand. It's just something that happens. Luke takes a strike there, 3-1 now. Again, a hitter's pitch here. If he gets one into a gap, we'd have a tie ball game. Maybe even down the line. Big open area down the line and right, but Luke's not likely to hit the ball that way. The 3-1 fouled back. And now we'll have a full count. Expect to see True take off. Also expect the possibility of the throw over to first to keep him honest. And there's the throw over, and it hits him in the backside, but Whitehead is able to field it. It might be an out and dodge ball, doesn't count like that in baseball. And now True will take off on the 3-2. He does, and that'll be ball 4. Tying runs now at second base. potential lead run at first, and here comes Trey Brimage. Brimage has grounded out and hit one of those line drives that went right at Lynch at third base. Travis is going to come out and talk. Let's see, is he going to pinch run for Vendig? Oh, and we're going to get a pitching change. Okay, so Pedro Martinez is done for the day. He leaves responsible for 2 runners on in the bottom of the 5th. And gosh, if we can read this guy's number, we can tell you who it is coming in to pitch. Might have to get my telescope out to see the number. 16. Okay, 16 is Preston Russell. He pitched on Thursday night.
This is the sidearm.
Russell will throw harder than what they have been seeing from Martinez, and he will throw sidearm from 2 or 3 different angles and also come almost overhand at times.
Pretty sure it's Connor Cornell.
One of those guys that just drive you crazy as a batter because you don't know what spin is going to come from what location. In the big leagues, they always try to tell guys like you, Darvish, that have a lot of different pitches, you need to throw all those pitches at a different arm slots. What I saw from this guy the other night was he threw every pitch from a different arm slot. He would throw. He threw 50 pitches a couple nights ago. And he was throwing sidearm, 3/4, and overhand. Multiple pitches from multiple locations. And Vendig does have a pinch runner at first. Who'd you say that was, Owen?
It's Trey Brimage. First base is Connor Cornell. Connor Cornell. Yeah.
Now pitching for favorite number 16, Preston Russell.
So Russell inherits a pair of runners in the bottom of the 5th. Here's Trey Brimage. Breaking ball fouled back.
At the plate, right fielder, Trey Brimage.
Connor Cornell pinch running for Luke Vendig. Another foul ball down the right field line, going to hit the screen. So quickly, it's 0-2 on Brimage. And Toppy is going to go out and talk signs with Russell as Jack True is out there. Again, if you see fastball, if they're only going to go one's fastball, two's a curve, you have a way to relay that to your batter. You're doing your job. Not quite like the sign stealing the Astros did. This is kind of traditional baseball. Again, the second baseman way out of position. If Brimage could punch one through, we'd have a tie score. The 0-2, he tries to punch it through. Oh, and that's going to hit Cornell, and that's going to end the inning. Oddly, that will go down as a base hit, but it also goes down as a runner interference. And that's the third out. So ending with a base hit on the, it might have been a ground out. Anyway, we've completed 5 innings. There's 2-1 Jackets. This is Highland Park Scots Baseball on GameOne Sports. Going to the 6th inning in the deciding game of the by-district playoffs, 13-5A versus 14-5A. Highland Park Scots and the Cleburne Yellow Jackets. Seen a lot of good pitching, not a lot of good hitting. Would like to see some more pitching right here as Ben Bailey will face Cooper Lynch, Taylor Valerius, and A.J. Tapia. Lynch swings and fouls the first pitch back. Lynch has stood in front of a couple of line drives that stuck in his glove at third. At the plate, he's flied to right and grounded out.
Third baseman Cooper Lynch.
Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. Quickly 0-2. Bailey has set down the last 7 runners after struggling through most of the first 3 innings. 7 batters, rather. That pitch is outside. Even with his struggles, he only gave up 2 runs. The second one scored on a wild pitch with the bases loaded, and that's the difference in the ball game right now, 2-1. The Jackets lead batting here in the top of the 6th. Ground ball towards short. Schneider gets it across to Vendig for 1 down. Valerius, the batter now, he has a single and has been hit by a pitch. So you could call that a perfect day at the plate so far. Only 8 hits in the ball game, 5 for the Jackets, 3 for the Scots. First pitch to him is a strike. Ground ball. Pryor will come in and make the play. Got past Bailey. I thought Bailey was going to catch it at first, but he let it go. I guess Jake called him off. And quickly there's 2 outs, and that'll bring up A.J. Tapia, the catcher. He has a single and 2 at-bats today.
Catcher A.J. Tapia.
Bailey's bumping up against the pitch count. Breaking ball for a strike. 97 pitches here in the 6th inning. And that will hit Tapia. He didn't move, but he took it. And now that'll bring up J.J. Perez, the second baseman, who has flied to center field twice today. A lot of fly balls to center from both sides. We could go 3 or 4 games without a fly ball to center. We've seen 7 or 8 of them today. So that ended Bailey's string of consecutive batters set down. And a pinch runner at first. Again, we can't make out his number, so pinch runner again. There's a strike. Cowbells are excited again for the Yellow Jackets along the first base line. There goes the runner, swing and a base hit to right, the old hit and run. And that'll put runners at first and third as Brimage gets the ball back in. It's Perez's second hit in the series. We'll bring up Fallon Trevino. Trevino, the right fielder, is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a ground out. And that was the 100th pitch
Trevino.
that Bailey has delivered today. Not going to see much more of him today. He needs to set this batter down. First pitch is high.
Hold on, he's sitting down. Let's get it done.
Next pitch is inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Trevino. And that makes it 3-0. There's a strike. 3 balls and a strike.
How many pitches are we at?
The 3-1 to Trevino. Swing and a miss. That'll bring the count full. First and third, 2 outs and a full count. Runner goes, and that's ball 4. That'll load the bases.
Yeah, that's going up. Who are they bringing in?
Here comes Travis Yoder. That'll be it for Ben Bailey today. Good effort. He came back from struggling in the first couple innings. Still only gave up 2 runs, and the second one was on either a wild pitch or a pass ball, depending on how you want to call that.
Good job.
But a nice job in the deciding game. And Judge Ellis is coming out of the bullpen. And he'll take over here. With the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 6th. We'll take a quick break. This is Highland Park Scots Baseball on GameOne Sports.
Defensive line. Part of the players committee. This is like the mini captains. Ooh, Judge, come on. Come on, Judge.
Is he more into football?
He's better at football than baseball.
Huh?
He's better at football than baseball. He does throw hard.
He has that football player build though.
Yeah, like his father. But his father was a wide receiver, correct?
And what is he?
Defensive lineman.
Is he really?
And yeah, my age.
So junior right-hander Judge Ellis takes over on the mound. Big hard-throwing right-hander, also plays on the football team. Defensive lineman, as we were discussing up here, has the build of a football player. Comes in, throws hard. Been some big hard-throwing pitchers in the past. He'll face the top of the order, Cooper Schneider, with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Swing and a miss at the first pitch.
At the plate, center fielder Cooper Schneider.
That pitch is outside. Sure has to dive outside to go grab that one. A ball and a strike. Ellis, I think, throws every bit as hard as Bailey, maybe even a little harder at times. Mid to upper 80s, maybe touching 90. Foul back out onto Lover's Lane. It'll just miss a couple of cars. That's probably not as entertaining to you at home as it is to us here in the press box to see the balls fly out onto Lover's Lane. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs and the bases loaded. Ellis working from the windup, bounces one in there, and it bounces towards third. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and another foul back is going to make it over onto Lover's Lane.
Can't wait till it actually hits the car.
So 2-2 with 2 outs. Bases loaded. High pressure situation to be in the playoffs. Just up high, and that'll load the count with loaded bases. This is an action pitch. Everybody will be taken off, and with Ellis working out of the windup, they'll get a pretty big lead. Maybe that's what Henry Shearer is going to go out and talk to him about. Possibility of going from the stretch. A pickoff play at this point would just be too obvious. Everybody telling Ellis to, come on, man, you're the guy. You got this. If nothing else, make him swing the bat. Three and two, bases loaded. And misses with a ball up high. 3-1 now, as that forces in a run. A little insurance for the Yellow Jackets. That brings up Zach Moore. 2 ground outs and a fly out in his afternoon.
Shortstop, Zach Moore.
Ellis flipping the baseball and now steps on the rubber and ready to kick and fire. First pitch is up in the air, going to go foul and out of play.
Car juked it.
Force on any bag. But also ducks on the pond. More the number 2 hitter in the lineup. Ellis kicks and fires. Going to miss outside ball. 1-1. Outfield not playing very deep at all. Bigger gap in left center than right. Ground ball towards the hole in left. McCann comes in, and they'll just hold the runner. It'll only score one. RBI single for Moore. And it's now 4-1, which was our score last night. That'll bring up Aubrey Whitehead, the first baseman. Doubled off the wall and right, grounded out, flied out. Takes a breaking ball down low for a ball. Ball missed up high, 2-0. Bases still loaded. Swing and a foul back. Saw something he liked, decided to take a hack at it. 2-1 now. Bobby Leitner handing off 4 baseballs in one hand to the umpire. That's pretty good, fitting 4 baseballs into one hand. No, Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench, was it 6, 8, 7, 9? Johnny Bench has huge hands. He can hold a lot of baseballs in one hand. It's a nice parlor trick, if you know anywhere that has parlors that do tricks. Swing and a looper over third, gonna drop, and this one hits so slow it will score 2 runs. Just hit so softly over the third baseman, 2 runs score. And that makes the lead now 6-1. 4 of those runs coming in this inning. The first 3 charged to Bailey, the last one to Ellis. And with Martinez batting now, the Yellow Jackets have batted around this inning. Ellis has given up a walk and a pair of hits. 6 runs on 6 hits, says the scoreboard. 1 run on 3 hits for the Scots. This is the highest scoring game now of the series. Ball's up and away, 2-0 to Pedro, who started the game on the mound. 2 hits already on the day and a ground out. Throw down to second, nobody was there. Schneider fields it on a hop. Looked like both players were backing it up. And now runners after the double steal are at second and third. There's a strike. 3 balls and a strike now to Pedro.
A couple of those he's called high, they just don't seem high. Is that because of where we are at?
Yeah, where we're at, yeah, sometimes.
And that misses outside, ball 4. Once again, the bases are loaded. Coach Yoder is going to come out and talk to Judge. And it looks like we'll have another pitcher.
28.
28.
Who is that?
He got moved up, I think.
We'll take a timeout while we'll try to figure out who the pitcher is. To pitch for the Scots with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Everyone on base belongs to Judge Ellis. 6-1 now the score in favor of the Yellow Jackets here in the 6th. First pitch from Liner is hit in the air to shallow right. Trey Brimage comes in and makes a diving catch to finally retire the side. But the Yellow Jackets push across 4 more runs, and that makes it 6-1 in favor of the Yellow Jackets going to the bottom of the 6th. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports.
Why don't they have earmuffs over that baby right there?
Because of the sound.
Why don't they?
Oh, why don't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because some
They've never
birds
heard
don't
that.
breathe more blood.
What did he say? Ear teamer.
About to see a fight.
No, he said, I guarantee you Owen's a dork.
Yeah. I guarantee you're about to start a fight.
What'd you say?
I don't know. Let's see if we can get at least 3 runs here.
Yeah, Miracle in it.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough hole to get out. And Jack Curtis is coming in.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
This is our shot to win state this year. Talent we got. Let's not get it going down the drain. Get too cocky.
So coming up in the bottom of the 6th inning,
He doesn't even look like a dad. He looks too young to be his dad.
Ben Bailey, the spot for Jake Pryor and Pete McCann are due. Jack Curtis is in the on-deck circle. Jack Rich batted in that spot last time around. Bailey has flied out and been hit by a pitch.
Leading off for the Scots,
Preston Russell back out on the mound. Gets a call, looked a little outside.
Must have. Because he can't come back in. Can he come back in?
He can come in and another pinch.
That pitch misses up high. Right next to Ben's shoulder. Russell working a lot quicker than any of the other Yellow Jacket pitchers. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Ground ball back to Russell. Makes a terrible throw. Bobbled at first. And there's life. It's going to be an error on the pitcher in my book. Had all day to make a throw. Made a bad one. And that'll bring up Jack Curtis. Curtis was the batter at the end of the game last night. He was called out on strikes, but he says he was hit by the pitch, but they called him out on strikes. So William White's going to come across a run for Ben Bailey. And now Coach Taylor is going to have a conversation with the umpire. Something going on about the substitution, I guess. White has been running for Bailey today when he got on, when he was the pitcher. So now as a pinch runner, since Bailey's no longer a pitcher, it's still William White. And we're going to get a little question, talk about the rules and the regulations, and slow things down here. And the question was good enough to have a conversation with all 4 umpires. Coach Taylor, I can only assume that he's talking about the pinch running situation, because Bailey had been the pitcher, still in the batting order, and now that he gets on base and there's another pinch runner, that's all I can think of. I see nothing else going on in the game that would need to require such a conversation.
Oh, pitch count, pitch count.
How many pitches has Bailey in?
Bailey? When he was at 105.
105? That's what he ended on?
Oh, that's fast.
I knew it had to do with Bailey.
Yeah.
So let's see what's going on here. Having a little bit more of a conversation. Seemed to be a conversation about the pitch count with Bailey. And now they cannot do a courtesy runner because he's no longer the pitcher, even though he threw the maximum 105 pitches. So Bailey will have to come out and run for himself.
A pinch runner. That's interesting.
So that's just a lot of assumption on my part and a little bit of the conversation going on up here in the press box. Nonetheless, nobody out, runner on first. Here's Jack Curtis. Preston Russell, who came in last inning, allowed a hit to end the inning because it hit the pinch runner. And here's Jack Curtis. Bailey gets a decent lead, not too big. Russell throwing out of a 3/4 arm slot, bounces one into the catcher. Tapia on that one. Different spins, different speeds, different arm slots. Russell, what looked like a curveball, in for a strike, 1-1. Catcher setting up way outside. Another breaking ball, going to be up high. Across the plate, but was up high. 2 balls and a strike. Curtis decides late to swing, fouls that one off. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. That's not kind of swing you want to see Jack take. You want to see him take that full cut. But now with 2 strikes, now he probably just looking to make contact, make something happen here. Scots need more base runners and more guys to make all those left turns. And that'll be up high. Full count now. Bailey probably will not run. Down this much, you don't want to run into an out and give the team an extra out, even if you think he could make the run. And that'll hit. What?
How does he make that call? He did the same thing.
What? So we get a curveball that hits Jack Curtis in the knee. And the pitcher is jawing off. He's picked the wrong guy if he thinks he wants to start something. He doesn't need to go to Curtis on that. Travis Yoder's giving the umpire a head full. Break, it was a curveball. It hit him in the knee. They're going to call it strike 3. How can you call it strike 3 if it hits him in the knee? It should have been ball 4 if nothing else. But the umpire called that strike 3. Questionable if nothing else.
I know, right?
And then the pitcher starts jawing at the batter and the on-deck batter. First pitch to McCann is down low. McCann has the hottest bat in baseball, 2 for 2 and an RBI today. Had a hit in his only at bat last night.
Just see how fast he, yeah. Was he mouthing it, Jack?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I didn't see it.
There's a pitch up high, almost hit McCann. Tapia is going to go out and talk to his pitcher. Pitcher got riled up after hitting Curtis with strike 3. No other way to explain that. He hit him with strike 3. So we've seen a base hit that hit a runner to end an inning and a hit batsman that turns into strike 3. That's just an awkward call for the umpire. Hit him in the knee. Was it going to be strike 3 even if it didn't hit him? And that almost hits McCann.
Is he trying to hit him now?
Yeah, look at him.
And he is really jawing off. Preston Russell's losing it. 3 balls and no strikes. He's lost the strike zone. And he's very vocal about something. And gets the call on that one for strike 1. Hitter's pitch for McCann here. 6-1 Yellow Jackets, bottom of the 6th. Scots need something to keep this one going. And there's strike 2.
Now it's like he was trying to hit him.
Sure does look like that.
Full count with 1 out. He checks his swing. Did he go? He did not. That'll be ball 4. And the Scots have something cooking. Henry Shearer due up. They're going to get a pinch hitter. Number 27.
Who's 27?
I have no clue.
We are
Is
not.
that new guy? No. He's 28.
So
He moved up. He got moved up.
They got. Is that work on deck? It's work on deck.
Carter Flashnick is now the batter.
27, Carter Flashnick.
Pinch hitting for Shearer. I don't care how fast he runs. They got to call this guy Flash, right? Ball outside. First pitch to him. Shearer had been hit by a pitch and flied out, so Flashnick's going to pinch run. Here comes Coach Taylor out to calm his pitcher down. Coach Yoder's still giving the home plate umpire an earful. I'm still questioning how you can call strike 3 on a hit batter that might have been ball 4, but he called strike 3, a ball that hit him in the knee, or he didn't appear to step on top of home plate. Anyway, 1 ball, no strikes to Flashnick. Runners first and second, 1 out. Flash takes 1 outside. 2-0. He's pitcher Russell's looking for the call on a pitch that wasn't that close. There's one on the inside corner for a strike. Left-hander up on the bullpen for the Yellow Jackets. 2-1, 1 out. 2 men on. Scott still needs more base runners to challenge the score. Swing and a foul back. Aggressive cut. 2-2 now. Swinging a ground ball towards short. Moore picks it up, hesitates, finally gets the throw over to first. They're going to get the out at first. Coach Yoder is going to have to tell all his players to get back in the dugout, and he's going to appeal to the home plate umpire to see if he has a call that the first baseman had his foot off the bag. So I'm going to hesitate before I start. No, a run did not score. So now we're going to get a quick little conversation, and the home plate umpire is going to call everybody in. Let's see. Either the bases are going to be loaded with 1 out, or it's going to be 2 out runners on second and third. From the umpire handbook and umpire experience, you always back up your other umpires unless it is intuitively obvious to even the most casual observer, which apparently it was. And so we're going to call that an error on the shortstop for pulling the first baseman off the bag.
That's Henry Shearer base running.
So Henry Shearer will go back and run in place of his pinch runner.
He made up for that call.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
So like I was saying, the umpire, the only way he can make that call is if it was very obvious that the foot was off the bag. Otherwise, you back up your fellow umpires and make the call. So, bases loaded. Tying run now in the on-deck circle.
They got Will.
Will Carlisle is going to come in and run now in place of Shearer and Flashnick. And the batter is going to be Adam Rourke, hitting for Jurovic. The pace of the game has slowed down. The bases are loaded. There is one questionable out. There's also one questionable safe. It is a very interesting inning. And there's a pitch up high to Rourke.
I know Carlisle. Carlisle's the type of dude to take out a catcher at home plate.
And there's a pitch for a strike.
If it comes down to it, he's gonna run through someone.
Rourke, just a junior, going to be one of the captains of the football team next year. And probably come back and play outfield. Swing and a miss. One of those weird spins from Preston Russell. Didn't look like he threw it all that hard, but it wasn't hittable, that particular swing for Rourke. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big gaps in the outfield. But Rourke will swing through one on the outside part of the plate, and that'll be 2 down. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Jack True, with the bases loaded. Jack, the team leader in hitting this year, high in RBIs, tied for the team lead in on-base percentage. Would love to see him get on base here. That would mean at least a run would score, maybe 2 or 3. First pitch to him down at his toes for a ball.
He did a little shimmy there.
Swing and a foul down the left field line. Bailey at third, McCann at second, Carlisle at first. Jack True would love to bring them all in with a gapper here.
At the plate, second baseman, Jack True.
Swing a line drive into center, but Schneider's going to come over and make the play. Another fly ball to center field. And that will shut down the threat. After 6 full innings of play, the Yellow Jackets lead this one 6-1. This is Highland Park Scots Baseball on GameOne Sports. Top of the 7th inning, Max Stammel proving to be the workhorse for the Scots. Will come in and pitched an inning in relief on Thursday, pitched into the 6th inning on a start, and took a tough luck loss yesterday. Now he'll come in for the 7th inning today. He will face Taylor Valerius, AJ Tapia, and JJ Perez. Each of those players have scored a run today. Each of those players has a hit today. Stammel's first pitch swung on and missed. Ball outside, 1-1. That one misses inside, 2 balls and a strike. If nothing else, Stammel was working a lot quicker. The game pace has slowed down. We're 2.5 hours in and just starting the 7th inning. Swing and a foul down the right field line.
No.
The 2-2, swing and a ground ball to Schneider. He's been pretty reliable as shortstop and makes the play 1 down. That'll bring up Tapia. Had the bases loaded sack bunt for the deciding hit last night. 1 for 2 and a walk. He scored a run today. First pitch to him is down. One ball, no strikes. Stammel to Tapia. Going to miss down. 2-0. Pretty large student section out here today for the Scots. Wish we'd seen that all year. 3-0 now to Tapia. Saw it in a day game during the middle of the week when they were playing tournaments. Didn't see some of them at some of the night games, though. 3-0. Strike 1. Saturday day game, everybody coming out to catch some baseball before it warms up too much. Oh, and that one will hit Tapia. He does not get the strike call. He actually gets the hit by pitch. That'll put Tapia on for the 3rd time today. So he gets pinch run for by Mr. Pinch Runner, whose number we can't read on his back. Number 1 is in the batting box. That's JJ Perez. We can read his number because he stands still and he's right there. But the guy at first, pinch running, he would have to come all the way down for us to read his number on his back. And there's another hit by pitch. Looks like they just put a magic marker. Or is that?
Apparently so, just like they called earlier.
So what? It looked like it hit the batter.
What?
So it's a balk and no pitch. Okay. Because it looked like it hit the batter. I guess there's no continuation rule anymore. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner now on second.
Oh, a ball. Yeah, a ball. Okay, sorry.
Swing and a ground ball right at Vin. He'll play it himself this time and get the out. 2 down now. The runner does move to third. And that'll bring up Fallon Trevino, the right fielder.
Pitch up right fielder, Fallon Trevino.
Pitch way outside. Trevino represents 4 complete times through the batting order here.
Is he seriously?
And we'll get another pitcher in. They'll take Stammel out. See if we can figure out who's coming in.
That's Hoover.
Eamon Hoover
Hoover.
will come in and deliver some pitches for the Scots. Be right back on Highland Park Scots Baseball on GameOne Sports.
Hoover's number?
23.
It's an appropriate situation.
Staying alive.
I'm thinking about how much money I might miss out on if they don't get this good inning. It's like I get paid per game.
You travel there. You travel with them too over there?
No, I don't travel.
Well, there won't be any more home games.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's all neutral site once they go to the second round.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean there won't be a game here.
Well, if there's another game
Well,
here, it'll be a bit like, they'll
Yeah.
be,
It'll be.
they'll be
Yes,
written in
sir.
the
Yeah.
field.
That's a good point. Yeah. But Owen won't do the music for another
Yeah.
2. Yeah. Who knows? We might get your name out, get a business card going.
Yeah. Replace the Roots at Ranger Stadium. That'd be nice.
Well,
Maybe do the Cowboy Stadium.
you're shooting too high
I
right
know,
now. Too fast.
I know. I get out.
6-1, top of the 7th inning. Eamon Hoover coming in. He inherits a runner on and a ball count on Fallon Trevino.
Now pitching for the Scots, number 23.
There are 2 outs.
Hoover.
So a runner at third, 2 outs, and a 1 ball strike or 1 ball count. First pitch swung on a missed. That one's up high. 2 balls and a strike now. More cowbell. I didn't think we needed more cowbell. There's a strike. No Blue Oyster Cult playing, so we don't need any more cowbell. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at third. Hoover looking to sit down Trevino and go score some runs. That pitch misses down low. People in the stands reminding Amon he's got a full count. Umpire also reminded him. Kicks and delivers. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Hoover comes in and sets him down to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Need a big inning from the Scots to keep on playing. This is Highland Park Scots baseball on GameOne Sports. Bottom half of the 6th, base runners are needed for the Scots trailing, bottom half of the 7th, I'm sorry. This is it. You got to go. Got to get them on, got to get them in. Get them on, get them over, get them in. Got to do that at least 5 times to keep this one going. Looking for a miracle here in the bottom of the 7th. Preston Gamster, Luke Vindig, Trey Brimage to get things started against Preston Russell. Russell's had a bad attitude on the mound, and he's been difficult to hit. First pitch is up high. He seems to start everybody off with something up and in. Or maybe I'm just imagining that. Curveball going to miss outside, 2-0. He's jawed at Scots. He's jawed at the umpire. He had a little talking to from his coach after last inning. Got a little bad attitude out there. In the pros, they call that character. In high school, I'm not exactly sure what they call it. He gets that one in for a strike, 2-1. Swing and a ground ball. That's going to be past third. Fair ball. Got a base runner to get things started. We're going to call that one a hit for Preston Gamster. Makes him 1 for 4 today. Not the hardest hit ball. He hit one to the warning track and hit a line drive right at Lynch at third. This ground ball stays fair. Luke Vindig now the batter. Vindig has a walk and a pair of flyouts today. He was the last pitcher that Pedro Martinez faced, so this is one time through the lineup for Russell. Ground ball right at short. Moore to Perez to Whitehead, and that is a 6-4-3 double play. There goes your base runner. There goes your threat. Just a few pitches into the inning now, 2 down. And Trey Brimage represents the last hope for the Highland Park Scots.
We got right fielder Trey Brimage.
Takes a pitch for a strike. The Cleburne contingent getting up on their feet, excited at the potential of moving on to face the winner of the Hallsville-Huntsville series in the area round of the playoffs, which will begin next Thursday. The weekend will begin next Thursday. There's another base runner. They can't call that one a strike. And that'll bring up Ben Bailey. Bailey has also been hit by a pitch today, reached on an error and flied out. officially 0 for 2. He has scored the only run of the game for the Scots.
So number 5, Ben Bailey.
Swing and a miss. Strike one. Parker Stevens on deck. Bailey takes one down low. Ball on a strike. He checks his swing, takes. He did not go.
Dude, you're up 6-1. You have nothing to complain about.
6-2. Oh, we're just
No,
one.
6-1.
We're just one. Ooh.
Swing and a miss. Russell took something off of that one. He definitely is in the head of the Scots. All those different angles, all those different spins. Tough to pick up a pitcher like that. Down to the last strike, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. Runner on first. Takes that one outside. Full count now. Brimage should be taking off unless they throw over to first. He'll deliver a pitch, swung on, and strike 3. And that will retire the side, and that will end the season for the Scots. And the Cleburne Yellow Jackets will move on to the second round, the area round, next week. That ends it for the Scots. The Scots had a very good year, 20 wins, 11 losses. 20 wins is a good marker. Just couldn't put it together, didn't hit enough here in this 3-game series against Cleburne. And the Yellow Jackets will move on. I want to say thank you to everyone in the listening audience, everyone up here in the press box. It's been a pleasure for me to come in here and be an old man announcing baseball. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you. And it's been a fun season. So for everyone everyone listening, I want to let you know I appreciate you. For Tyler Presley up above me on top of the press box, for John Noel, Trevor Von Dam, Lisa Carrillo, Fred Garner, everybody at GameOne Sports, thank you for watching. This has been a production of GameOne Sports. It's been Highland Park Baseball. Thank you for watching. Have a good off season.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
It's a pleasure.
My
Is he happy?